live on the mic. Chris is playing footsie with me. Here we go. Five, four, three.
Welcome, everyone, and pull up a seat at the table. It is lunchtime in Rome. Tonight's episode 215 is entitled Wild Divorces. Who has it worse than you? The people we'll be talking about at the table this evening. We'll be going over some of the most random and ridiculous reasons people have filed for divorce. Obviously, we will try to tie it back to what went wrong in regards to emotional needs long before the marriage dissolved. So pull up a seat at the table and join us. First-time listeners, you can subscribe on your favorite podcast app or watch us live or later at youtube.com/lunchtime in Rome. Visit us at lunchtimeinrome.com, and while there, you can take our relational needs questionnaire. Make sure to follow us on all social media, and it would be great if you gave us a 5-star review. Jay, what specifically is this podcast about?
Being alone is the worst. Good times aren't as good, and bad times are worse when you're all alone. Romans 12:15 says to rejoice with those who rejoice and mourn with those who mourn. That is how you keep people from being alone, and what this podcast is all about. We demonstrate that in the first 15 minutes of the podcast, talk about it for the rest. So while it may not be 12:15 in Rome, we're treating it like it is
Lunchtime in Rome.
Brian's back.
I'm here.
Yeah, New York City.
New York.
Long Island.
Long Island. Yes.
Long Island.
Long Island's a lot different than New York City because, before I spent some time there, it was all one giant metropolis area to me.
Bunch of boroughs.
Yeah, but it really is. So it's a Long Island. It's about 3 hours from end to end ish.
No.
Yeah.
Wait.
It's a bit it could be its own
Swimming?
Yeah.
What?
It's hard to believe that it's 3 hours.
3 hours, like
Yeah, but it's
3 hours
15 miles an hour.
driving.
from
okay.
no on the highways. It's a Long Island.
I'm shocked.
No,
That blows my mind.
not true.
Because
with traffic.
Well, when you were talking about before, to me, New York City was New York City, and there was different parts
Yeah.
boroughs until I find out from you that that's not true. There's Long Island is its own thing, and I don't want to offend Long Islanders and
Right. No, it really could
Yeah.
be. It really could it's bigger than Rhode Island. I mean, it's
What
a
isn't?
very long.
yeah, I'll tell you what.
So, and I like it because especially this trip, I got to see more of it, and it's really diverse. You have beaches, and there's the North and South Fork, and the South Fork's where the Hamptons is. That's where all the rich people.
Oh,
from
the Hamptons are on Long.
Yeah, they're on Long Island, so they're in that South Fork.
That makes more sense on the Seinfeld.
Like Montauk and stuff.
See, I have the Hamptons up in Massachusetts. So
Yeah, I was not even in New York. It's,
Yeah.
Nope.
No, you just drive over the bridge and you're on Long Island and drive to the end of the island, and that's where all the rich people go. But then there's real industrial parts, and there's almost like Murraysville, kind of suburban, countryish kind of places. It's a really cool place. And if I had to live anywhere in New York City, which I hope to God I don't anytime ever,
Harlem.
yeah, that's exactly right. I would try to find some place on Long Island. So anyways, I was there. It was a great, really, really good trip. My guy Kono out there is just one of the most interesting, just dynamic, diverse people I've ever met in my life. He just constantly is always creating new businesses, and we had a really great time. And not just work things, but life talks and some really meaningful stuff. Which is really good to do to somebody that is so successful, to be able to see them open up and get vulnerable. It's almost like when you join somebody in their emotions, they don't feel alone and they feel comfortable talking to you.
Crazy.
Let's make a podcast about
We
that.
should do that.
Well, and you had a lot of opportunity to talk to him because you go to 1 or 2 baseball games.
We went to 2 Mets games. So
that's a wow. That's a lot of talk time.
So this
Not a bad. I'm not saying that's a bad thing.
talk
It's
time.
Talk time.
this
Talk time in Rome.
this week, this last week with Kono, each and every night, he didn't force me to go out with him, but it was like, hey, let's go out, and so the first night we went to the Mets game, and the seats, he has 4 seats, along the third baseline, but almost right behind home plate.
Sure.
3 rows back, and
So, dugout.
you're right next to the visitors dugout.
Yeah.
You're super close
Gotcha.
to that. But to get down there, you can walk through this VIP room. And in this VIP room, there were 3 sections of food, and it's just all you can eat. And the way
That's my favorite kind of food.
Yeah.
all you can eat.
Yeah.
The way his tickets work is you get a QR code on your phone, and you can walk to any vendor in the entire stadium, and they scan the QR code, and because it's on those tickets, it's absolutely free.
Oh my!
So we had the VIP room first, and we're talking like a tri-tip and lobster mac and cheese, and I mean, you name it. There were hot dogs on a roller. So if you wanted to go old school ballpark, you get a hot dog.
I love a ballpark.
And I did all of it. I ate all of it, especially Monday night. Like I just couldn't stop eating. And then they put out desserts. They had cannoli and these other they were in a pastry, but they were like cream puffs with like fresh fruit on it. Dude, I brought some out for everybody else, and now we're not going to eat it. So I was like, all right, I ate it all. And but at one point we're at this one vendor, and they're lobster rolls. So it's lobster tails on a hot dog bun, basically, with cheese or butter on top of it.
I'm here for it.
Oh, so good. But they have a hot and cold option, and so I'd already eaten 3 plates of food, and
wait, a hot lobster roll or a cold lobster roll?
Well, that's the thing. They had a hot and a cold.
Right.
And so I was with my friend Kono, and then another guy, one of his friends, his name's Frank. So talking to Frank, we both wanted to get a lobster roll. He's like, well, why don't you get the hot and I'll get the cold? So I got the hot, he got the cold. We split it. So I had half a hot, half a cold.
Did you guys eat at the same time?
We locked arms,
When the moon is
But initially, we're like, well, I mean, we either get the hot or the cold. Kono's like, get them both, because you don't care. He doesn't get it's all free.
It's all inclusive.
The thing is too, if he doesn't go to the game or those tickets don't get used for that night, I mean, that's
lost money.
Lost money. He told me how much those season tickets are worth. It's a lot, but yeah, I mean, it's just a great experience. Each and every night was different. But yeah, Monday night we did the ball game, and then it's getting later in the day on Tuesday, and Kono, we're getting hungry. He's like, hey, you want to go to the game again tonight? I was like,
you're like, I could eat.
Well, yeah. I was like, sure. He's like, we'll just go and get dinner, maybe hang out for a little bit. And we watched the 5th inning or something, and then left.
So do they still play in Shea Stadium?
It's called Citi Field.
Citi Field.
Yeah.
Shea Stadium's gone.
It's right next door to the old Shea grounds. So there's still elements of I think there's the home plate still from Shea there.
Okay.
But yeah, it's right
Couple
there.
Of bodies.
Yeah, definitely for sure.
Is that on Long Island?
That's in Queens.
Okay.
Which kind of juts into Long Island. You go over a little bridge and you're in Queens.
Same place.
They play the old school Met song.
Yeah, there was some kind of Italian song that they did. I don't know if that's what you're talking about. I don't know what the old
Let's
school
Go Mets.
So we're the Mets.
Do I sound a
no.
little staticky? I think I have a little bit of static when I talk.
Not in my ear.
All right.
No. So anyways, it was a really good trip on a lot of fronts, and I can't say enough about it. I also wanted to talk about Abby, my daughter. She's going to be turning 12 tomorrow.
That's crazy.
Yeah. And when I say 12, I mean, I think 21. She's it's amazing to watch her grow and evolve as a human being. But before I left on my trip, she and Lex had both told me that they wanted to give me a presentation. And I was like, all right, but they wouldn't tell me what it was about. And so when I got home, I think it was Saturday night or Sunday night, Abby was like, I want to show you this presentation. And so I was like, all right. So she ends up she pulls it up, passes it to the TV. And I got to tell you, she could walk into any boardroom with this presentation and convince them of what she wants to do. And what she wants to do is completely revamp her room, which as soon as she showed it to me, I was like, we just did this last year. She's like, I know. That's why I did the presentation.
Hear me out.
She's serious.
Hear me out.
She's serious about
it. Dude, the images that she showed me, the setup for it, she was like, so my room's kind of this look now, but I want to go for this look. So that means I need a new bed. And here are the reasons. Here are the reasons I need a new bed.
Oh, man.
And they're just adorable and also true.
Yeah.
And, she just went through the whole thing. And not just the actual slides themselves, but her actual presentation of it. She had a pen and, using it as a pointer.
Yeah.
And Ethan was in the room and kind of heckling her, distracting her. She would just stop, let him finish, and then keep on going, very focused.
She called security.
She did. It was me, but
Dad.
But yeah, so I've had a really good. I know it's been 2 weeks since I've been here. Maybe I don't know. It doesn't seem like I've been here in a long time, but I've been out doing good stuff, and it's been really good. So how about you guys?
Well, that's awesome, and I am excited to share with you something terrible.
Awesome.
Which I do. Is it only just me? Or
I would unplug your.
You do have
unplug
that.
and then plug back in.
Yeah, you got a
Hold
little.
on.
Yeah.
You guys were hearing that too?
When he started talking about moods and well, Jay messes with that should, maybe a minute, because I'm coming in hot. It's coming in. Oh, man. Just unplug it and plug it back in. That's all we want to answer. Right. So, this year, Joe's like, I think we put together student and stuff. I'm like, we got if I just rolls over. He's like, no, we have to redo it. I'm like, all right, sweet. So we sit down, bang it out, bang, 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 fine. Oh, wait, hang on. Module.
For how long?
The whole show.
No, now we're back.
Did it happen just
When I plugged,
Jay-
unplugged, plugged,
yeah.
unplugged?
I think so.
My fault.
We're gonna have to
Keep
cut-
going. Keep
we're gonna
going.
cut this out.
Well, we can clip that part out, but I haven't said anything that I don't have to restate.
Okay, so my entire story was in there.
Yes.
it was 30 seconds.
That's the plug, unplug it. Should I try to unplug it again?
You might as
and
well
see if
tell-
it does it again?
It wasn't your whole story because you went.
No, it
minutes.
wasn't at all.
Yeah.
It was after his story.
Right.
Well,
I can pause it and listen to it.
It's fine.
And edit it out
I
later.
guarantee you it's after his story was over.
Right.
Yeah.
We can retell it later
No,
if we
agree,
have to.
I agree. No, it's after. It's when.
So we applied for a student loan. Bing, bang, boom. They come back and it says documents needed. This is now 3 weeks ago. So I had to re-upload my W-2s. Fine. Then it says you have to upload your 2022 and 2021 taxes. And I'm like, I didn't do that before. Why would I have to do it now when we're in the third year of his student loans?
Right.
But I play ball. So I get out my Adobe scan. I scan the front and the back, the 2 pages of my federal taxes last year, 2 years ago, send it in. Week later, comes back. We need your 2022, 2021 taxes. So you already got them. So I click on the email and it says, we need your W-2s. Well, but the email says that I needed my 2022, 2021 taxes. Not W-2, but the website says I need my W-2. So I re-upload the W-2. A few days go by. We need your 2022, 2021 taxes. Click on it. Rescan, resend. Okay, fine. Yesterday, when it's due, we need your complete 2022, 2021 taxes. So I call the helpline and I get Shirley. I said, Shirley, I said, keeps telling me to upload it, but I keep uploading it and it says received. I don't understand.
I'm already so frustrated.
She said, well, it says right here. And she starts reading me the email that I've already received.
I'm so frustrated for
It's
you.
the worst.
And I'm well aware of that.
Useless.
I said, Shirley, I said, it says complete. I said, I sent both pages, of the summary sheet. I said, there's no way they want my entire federal income tax return. I said, it's 20 to 30 pages. Oh, yes, they do. Fine. Hang up, scan 40 pages over 2 years of tax returns. Upload them yesterday.
How are you scanning them? Just
Scan them with my Adobe Scan on my phone.
on your phone.
Save
Oh
it to-
my God.
Yeah.
Hold on. Save it to my phone. Email it to my laptop. Upload it in my laptop. Upload it to the website.
Yep.
Individually.
Yep.
Send it all out.
Call me next time.
Yeah,
dude.
I was gonna say.
Please
I have
call
a
me next
scanner
time.
too.
We're past that.
Yep.
now.
Yep.
Yep.
Sorry.
We're past that.
Yep.
And there won't be a next
Dude,
time.
I'm
like this.
so
Yeah.
hot right now.
So frustrating.
So
Ugh.
today, as I'm coming back with our 800 pounds of a cow that we picked up today, and the
Heck
four of us
yeah.
and my brother shared, celebrating life, talking about all the good things, I get a text message.
No,
I look at my email.
no,
Said, we need your 2022,
no.
Oh my gosh.
2021 taxes uncut.
Wait, what
Oh,
does
so
that mean?
one file.
Well, maybe, but maybe not. Because then I get home and I call. This time I don't get Shirley. I won't say who I got. I don't remember her name. I said, I have 2 questions for you. I said, number 1, why do I have to upload? Because you give them permission to contact the IRS.
Right.
So why am I uploading anything?
Right.
I said, when I know
Same
for a
information.
fact I have never done this before.
Yeah. And you said that you have to do this each semester.
No, for Joe, it's a year.
Okay.
But this is the third year. And I haven't done it in the first two.
So you're not new to this.
Correct. She said, well, that's up to the underwriters to say what they do or do not want. All right. You're not a decision maker. I understand. I said, number 2, can you tell me what uncut means? She goes, what do you mean? I said, it says uncut. I don't know what that means. They don't tell me which of my documents is cut or not complete.
Mm-hmm.
Hold, please. 5 minutes. She said, when you scan, we need the whole page. You see, on a lot of your pages, you can see the fold at the top or some of the bottom is cut off. I said, right. But in every scan, every bit of information or data is included in the scan. It's got to be the whole page.
I hate
What's that?
bureaucracy crap.
I said, let me tell you this. He said, can I send it in picture format, in a JPEG? Which I already know I can because I saw the page. And she's like, hold on. He goes, yeah, you can send it. I immediately hung up. I then took 40 pictures on my phone, created a file on my folder, uploaded all 40 pictures, got booted from the system once at about the 23 document mark, and then uploaded the rest. So that's where we are right now. We do have options. So last night I said, you know what? Forget PHEAA forward loans. And I went on to Citizens Bank. I'll get a private loan. I don't care because the Joe's loan's at like 8%, which is ridiculous. Fill it out. Okay, we have to contact Joe. Joe goes, he gets the email, he logs on, he creates an account, Citizens Bank Online. Okay, bing, bang, boom. Which semester are we looking for? This semester is not an option. Past summer was an option. Next year's an option. You can get a loan for last year. You can't get a loan for right now for some reason.
Wow.
Now,
We're not saying you can't carry.
but I even said to my brother, because he was loving just how I was flipping out. Because I was flipping out.
Dude, how much time has gone by?
At this point, total
13 hours.
No, maybe 4.
That's way too much.
Including the original application, let's go 5. So
Far too much.
I've said, okay, but once again, I want to be the wise old sage. When bad things come my way, I go, well, of course they do. So the enemy's trying to get me to do something.
It's taxes.
And God's provided for me. And by the way, you know what I love to do? I love to look at my taxes.
Yeah, right.
I love to be reminded of
doesn't?
the $10,000 and $12,000 I've spent the last 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
But maybe God doesn't want us to be at PHEA. Maybe there's another thing. Maybe I'm supposed to go talk to somebody at Citizens Bank. Maybe there's something else. And there's some creative things we can do with some other financing and whatever else through his scholarship and whatnot. So, okay. So we have to look at it this way. I do have to get it out because I'm frustrated. I do have to plot a few people's deaths. That's fine.
Shirley, looking at you.
That's how I am.
Woof.
I have,
Well, I mean, sometimes
200
that's how
pounds of
God
meat.
does work, to kill people.
Right, what if he's like, there's going to be a data breach and all your information is going to be taken care of. I don't want you to be here. And I'm like, I'm going to be here.
Yeah.
Man.
That's terribly.
Sorry, man. That's
And then Chris is making
Fire.
jokes in our text thread about it.
Fire. No.
flames.
Doesn't matter.
Yep, it was badly
Doesn't
timed.
matter what your intent was.
That's right.
After I said I am in documentation hell, you left 3 laughing emojis.
It was not. It was.
Are you giving me facts, logic, and reason?
No, I'm really
Are you
sorry.
criticizing me, saying I shouldn't have been upset?
I'm really sorry that came through and hit you.
Did it cross?
Can you
through the
see
text
how
box?
it made me
crossed.
feel?
Yeah. It's terrible.
So you were laughing at what?
Me and my hell that I was in.
I wasn't.
Well,
but,
that was my perception.
But it came through that way. And
He was laughing that Eric didn't understand.
I got you. I followed
was
the
still-
whole thing.
but-
I just forgot.
But
about
it was more of my needling that still like.
Hmm.
That's what I was laughing at. Was that you caught onto the $360 thing? Anyway,
I was so lost.
I know. You weren't there last night.
Like
so it
most
was-
of our
yeah.
listeners right now.
And the reason why I was so lost, and the reason why I was so lost is I've been in quite the fog of.
He's been really sick. So
Yeah, so guilty party here. I've been sick. I was the reason why we didn't have that episode 2 weeks ago. It's fine,
It's a
whatever.
HIPAA violation,
But
even for yourself.
right, I was gonna say it's me. But
Hey, it's
got
you.
sick, and then it turned into bronchitis. And
It's been like 3 weeks for you.
dude, it's been. And okay, so I did a telehealth thing, and phone call, told them what was going on, and they gave me an antibiotic.
Did you have to turn your head and cough?
Those
No.
okay wavelengths?
Yes. And Wait, you asked and I said yes.
Easy, pal. Okay, just ask it.
And did a telehealth thing, gave me an antibiotic, and then that ended up not working. Completed the antibiotic. Then I did a video call with the doctor, and they said, well, at this point it's viral. Stop taking like Dayquil and stuff that's drying you out. You got to get it out. So you got to take like Mucinex or something like that for 4 days. I was like, okay.
Are you like hacking up colors and stuff?
Yeah, I'm hacking up. But the thing is, like, I'm hacking things up, and it's not going away when I hack it up.
Somebody in there is still creating more.
You're back to buzzing.
Yeah, you're Buzzy McGee.
We'll give you a second to do that.
Let's watch the wavelengths.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
better here.
Better here.
yeah, it looks all right. So let me know if that goes up
Yep.
while I'm talking.
Wow.
And no, it's obvious.
Yeah.
Sorry. And it is, increasingly hard to breathe and whatnot. So I was like, all right. Amy talked me into going to MedExpress.
That's why God gives us wives.
Right. And I was planning on going anyway, but she was like, go tonight. Don't wait until tomorrow. Go tonight. I was like, okay. So went, and this was two nights. I don't know, whatever. Got antibiotics, an inhaler, and a steroid. And I started that treatment yesterday. So I'm starting to feel better.
Already.
I'm starting to feel better already. But last night, and I don't know if it's just everything working and like getting things out of my system even more.
Mm-hmm.
I was literally wheezing and coughing until about 3:45. Like this morning.
Like, were you draining too? Like,
not my nose isn't like, it's really not. It's all in my lungs.
Respiratory.
It's all in my lungs.
Well,
and
mid-respiratory.
Yeah. So yeah, and it's just been the worst. So like just sleep deprived. So I took off this morning, and
of work.
Yeah.
You didn't leave home.
I took Maggie to school.
He had the bindle over his shoulder.
Yeah.
I'm taking off.
Taking off.
I took Maggie to school, and I came back home, and I just slept and got a little bit of extra, and that really, second sleep. It really helped because, man, I was like, I can't do this. I can't. So
I'm glad there's hope.
I am too.
Yeah.
I'm glad. Yeah.
It grinds on you.
Yeah, and it's been a lot because, like, we were all sick at one point. Since Maggie, from Maggie's party.
Finish line.
And finish line since the finish
Elsa
line.
brought it.
Yeah. And so it's just been a lot. It's just been a lot on top of too much, as we talk about.
That is the new phrase.
But one fun thing. Talked about Amy's birthday last week, right? Yeah. But on top of Maggie liking to watch disc golf, she now loves to watch Dude Perfect videos, which is just a pleasant time because I love Dude Perfect videos.
Who doesn't?
They're so fun. And she's just been loving that, and we've been doing trick shots ourselves and stuff, and it's just really fun.
For those that don't know, Dude Perfect is a wildly, maybe the most popular YouTuber.
It is I think Mr. Beast has the record of being like the most popular YouTuber, but Dude Perfect is up there. Like
they're making so much money.
They have their own Nerf gear.
Yeah.
They have but Google Dude Perfect. Everybody loves. One of them just went into space last year.
Oh wow!
They did this video series of like model rocket launches, and the first one they did was like the ones you get at the hobby store and you get.
Yeah.
The second one they were bigger, and then like the third one they were launching like 16-foot rockets. Like it was awesome, and the one that went the highest won a trip into space.
Oh wow!
And yeah, it's really cool.
And then they went on that submarine.
Oh gosh, why gotta bring it down?
Well, that guy is building a spacecraft to go to space.
Oh,
not one that I'm gonna
sign up for that one.
Yeah. So, but it's fun.
Speaking about in space.
Oh, hi. I have a relatively short update today. Well, one thing is just that I'm very excited about all the meat. Oh my gosh, my freezer is full of meat, and I'm excited. As I was unpacking the cooler today, I'm like, ooh. I'm excited because especially as the weather cools down, it becomes time for roasts.
Got a lot of ground beef for some chili.
Oh, that's
I made
true.
chili today.
Lots of chili. Nice.
Did
you use that beef?
Yeah. No, it was. I started this morning before we got it.
But the real update here is it's quiz time today. Fill in the blank, I guess.
Is the greatest day
I had
ever known.
$562 worth of something removed from my property.
Trees.
No.
Children.
No.
The playset.
No, I wish.
Fences.
No.
Basketball hoop.
No.
$522. $62 worth of something.
Dead fish.
Here it's $350 for the first one, 50% off for the second one plus tax. That equals $562. No.
I don't
I'm
know.
at a loss.
We're running out.
I appreciate
Blades
you.
of grass.
You playing. Hornets nests
Oh.
in the ground. We had one.
Oh,
We've had
man.
one in
Wait,
our
this is how
back.
much you paid.
Yes.
Gotcha. I thought, yeah, okay.
You thought it was the value of the item taken.
Yes.
That's what I was going with.
No. Oh, yeah.
So you paid that much money to have 3 hornets nests.
2 hornets.
2 hornets nests taken out of in the ground.
Yes.
Hornets nest.
Yeah, and the one on the front was big. So
Like, did
So
they
they-
dig it out?
Yeah, I was gonna say they took them out or they just killed it.
he takes the nest. Jim the bee hunter, by the way.
Jimmy.
Not a sponsor, but-
he was real good. Yeah, maybe someday a sponsor. I don't know, but he removed the nests and like spray whatever powder he uses to like
Arsenic.
when they land, they get it on them, and he said they'll all be dead within a couple days. So that's what I'm waiting on. But
How does he remove the nest?
very carefully. Yeah, I don't know.
Like, does he literally dig up the yard?
There is like a divot in the front yard. I saw. Yes.
Yeah.
So he's
Man.
Wow.
but.
Did anybody get stung before this?
Yes, but from the one in the back, Ben. So this was still
Cutting
summer.
grass.
Oh yeah,
before-
I think I remember.
he got stung 4 times mowing the lawn.
Yep.
That's
Dude, they're relentless, man.
Yeah.
They
So
just
but
out
that was
there.
it.
They just out there.
You know what else is
I like to
potentially
get absolutely separated from and divorced from wasps at all costs. And I think if you wouldn't have gotten rid of that, and Amy would have said, "That's it, Chris, we're done. This is the last straw," that would be a very random divorce.
Yeah.
And yet still not as random as the ones that I found on what we like to call the internet. So I thought this might be a fun diversion. You might, if you're sitting with us at the table, you might say, "How dare you? How dare you make fun of people's whose lives were turned upside down through divorce?" Here's how we dare. 1, it's pretty ridiculous. And second of all, we're also going to look at it and try to learn from it.
Yeah. Of
Ooh.
course.
How about third of all? They're already published and out there.
True, and they were paid because these are from Reader's Digest.
There you go.
So
It's a win-win-win.
we're going to read. We're going to react. I'm the only one who knows these. These 3 don't, and none of you at home do unless you are avid Reader's Digest people. Number 1, in 2007, a Russian man ran out of money while playing poker. So he bet his wife,
Wow.
and he lost. When his wife found out, she left him for the man who'd won her
That's fair. That's
and
fair.
her heart.
Wow.
That
So he
is-
got the Queen of Hearts.
No, he got the shaft.
No,
He got
no.
nothing.
The guy that
The other
won.
guy.
Oh,
got
yeah,
He
the
lost
guy
his
that
money
won.
and his woman.
Yes, he did.
All right.
Wow.
That's tough.
I don't know if I'm more surprised that he bet her or that she actually was like, "Yeah, I'll leave with this guy."
Or did he just want rid of her so bad?
And he just
Like,
lost on
because
purpose.
you gotta have, for lack of a less poker term, you gotta have the nuts. I mean, you gotta know you're winning if
Yeah.
you're betting the wife, unless
That's
you want to lose.
exactly how he wanted things to go.
We're not gonna delve too far into that.
He's the greatest poker player ever.
one. Perhaps.
So we also want to talk about emotional.
There's not a lot in
Yeah.
that, man. I mean,
It's kind of hard to get anything out of that.
well, I mean,
I don't know.
Well, you could do like a ton. You could be like, well, he doesn't appreciate his wife.
He
there's
doesn't.
no appreciation, there's no respect,
No
property,
respect. It's like all of it.
like
Like,
belonging. He doesn't value who
'cause you're
she
like,
is.
Yeah, right.
Doesn't
Just-
need security.
Security.
Nothing.
I mean,
He
yeah.
doesn't
well,
need it because he doesn't. Get
You say he doesn't value who she was, but it depends on the
Well, it's true.
how high was
big
the
was
bet?
the debt?
Yeah,
that's
I
a
mean,
good point.
it could be a big value.
$2 bet, $2 table.
Yeah, in which case, no.
I ran out of nickels, so here's my wife.
In January of 1997, when I met Rachel, unrelated to this story. California.
I won her. I won her
at a poker game from a Real Life weekend. We were in Russia at the time. A California woman filed for divorce after 25 years of what her husband believed had been a happy marriage. The real reason didn't come out until 2 years later. On December 28th, 1996, just 11 months before she filed for divorce, the wife had won $1.3 million in the California lottery.
Oh, man.
Thereafter, she took various actions to keep the money, all to herself, including filing for divorce.
So wait, he won the money.
She won the money,
she won the
but
money.
didn't tell him.
She won the money, didn't tell him.
Got it.
And
So
then divorced.
plotted for a year to file for divorce so that he wouldn't get any. So she kept it hidden so he wouldn't get it.
Now, legally, wouldn't she have to split it
If they
in
had
a
a prenup?
divorce?
Well, there's more.
If they had a
Okay,
prenup,
let's-
but-
When the truth came out, a Los Angeles family court judge ruled that the woman had violated state asset disclosure laws and awarded, here's the crazy part, every cent of her lottery winnings to her now
Whoa.
ex-husband.
Oh my gosh.
What? Maybe she should have spent
That's
that year
insane.
looking at the California laws.
Yeah, or get a better lawyer because like there's always a lawyer involved in.
Hey,
in
I want to
divorce.
do this. What's my asset protection in this?
It's weird that the LA judge went against the woman.
Yeah,
So
and it was the judge was her husband.
how does this guy move on? Well, wealthily.
Well, yeah, I mean, he's got.
Yeah, what do you do?
Well,
What do you do?
Like, how do you trust anybody ever again?
Yeah,
Oof.
I would imagine there was a lot of anger at the beginning. Like, now he's got all this money. I'm going to go buy a bunch of toys. And, I mean, I don't know how he spent it, but yeah, that's from an emotional standpoint. Yeah, that your trust,
Security's gone.
your appreciation, again, respect, like all those things go out the window unless you're a certain type of person.
2009, a German woman filed for divorce after her husband knocked down and rebuilt a wall in their home. Because why? Well, because it got dirty. This was apparently the final straw in a 15-year marriage during which the husband obsessively cleaned the house and rearranged the furniture.
So this is the classic definition of the fight that every couple has. It's the fight,
Over and over again.
that damn wall.
Or that everything's dirty. Got to clean it. Got to clean it.
wait, so he cleaned everything but eventually knocked down the wall because it was dirty?
Yeah.
Why didn't you just paint it
Or just clean it.
or just clean it? Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
So you want to talk about past hurts? He had something going on.
Still does. And that means obviously some OCD.
Right.
Obsessive compulsive disorder. And he doesn't have a high need for acceptance because
Really
he keeps
not.
doing it over and over
Right,
again.
yeah,
He
yeah,
doesn't
yeah.
care. So
Yeah.
his need for probably security, control,
Right.
pretty bad.
Interesting.
No, we're skipping that one. 4 months after the 4 months after their 1994 wedding, a New York man, not Kono, much as we know, secretly divorced his wife in the Dominican Republic. She didn't find out for another 22 years, during which they
How
went
do you
on.
do that?
Yeah, that's not.
During which they went on with their lives as a married couple, raising a son, living the good life, jetting between homes in New York and France.
What?
When she learned the truth after discovering that she was not listed as an owner of the deed to their home,
She divorced him.
her husband claimed it was an attempt to protect their assets. She believes it was an attempt to rob her of assets and is now seeking to nullify the divorce and presumably divorce him legally in New York.
How do you do? How is it even possible?
Yeah, how is a divorce drawn up in the Dominican Republic legal?
That's where they were married.
Oh,
If that's where they were married.
if that's where they were married.
Wow.
I don't know.
That's-
I
Can you imagine when she comes home? Why isn't my name on the deed? Well, I don't know. And he's like, all right, well, there's a story. I divorced you 22
It all
years
started
ago.
4 months after we got married.
Jeez.
how about he divorced her, but then
Stayed with her.
like nothing in his life actually changed,
Right.
Unless he talk about a weird like need of security. Like he needed,
Like, I have an out
yes,
if I want.
his security was.
I'm already out.
Right. But
So
I,
wait,
I can
living
have
the
I
life.
can have the best
Wait.
of both worlds.
Was
Yeah.
was his reasoning to protect their assets for both of them, or
I
just
think that's
him?
what it claimed. was he claimed to her that it was for asset protection.
Because like then the obvious question is like, well, why don't we just have a conversation? Like if you're like because like if you want to talk about gaming the system, I'm like let's go.
Right,
you want to
let's
talk
do it
about
together.
Right, let's do it together. Like if you want to if there's some tax
Avoid
loophole that we can do, okay, let's do it. But
I don't think it was that altruistic.
no.
Unless he's
That's wild.
Unless the only thing is if she's some sort of a criminal, and so he just got everything in his name, so that if she ever gets busted for whatever she's doing,
Right.
Mm-hmm.
but he would, yeah.
You'd think they'd still have a conversation.
A 34-year-old man filed for divorce from his 28-year-old bride just days after the wedding, after he saw her without makeup.
Oh my god!
No.
According to Dr. Abdul Aziz Asaf, a psychologist at the clinic where the woman sought help in recovering from her psychological suffering as a result. Apparently, the man felt that his wife had deceived him with cosmetics, including false eyelashes. The deception was discovered when the two went to the beach together, and a dip in the ocean washed away her makeup.
Oh, it's like sad clown getting out of the ocean. Maybe it was just too much.
Wow.
She wore just too much makeup.
You know what? She's probably better off.
I would think so.
That's superficial. Like that's
my
as
gosh,
superficial as you
But
can
you've never
possibly get.
I was
You've
gonna say,
never
can
seen
we-
her without
Let's
makeup?
address that.
Yeah, how long were you dating? Like you guys,
Right.
Like
You never picked her up to go to the grocery store early in the morning or something like that?
right.
That's crazy.
And if she's wearing that much makeup, that he never sees her without it,
Yeah.
and so then when he sees her without it, he's like, nope, nope, nope. So that's compounded hurts.
That
Because why would you wear so much makeup all the time unless you were hurt
right.
and insecure and, self-condemning? Oh, I'm not pretty unless I wear my makeup.
Right.
I'm not this, I'm not that. And then it gets tremendously
The one
confirmed.
thing that she's like already, I gotta wear all this makeup. Oh, you don't have makeup? You're divorced.
Hey, I hate it when this happens.
Ugh.
An Italian man filed for divorce on the grounds that his wife was possessed by the devil. Apparently, the woman had displayed inexplicable behavior since 2007, including fits, body stiffening, and even self-levitation. A court in Milan granted the divorce, acknowledging the existence of the behavior, but declining to say if it was the wife's fault. So they weren't saying it was a wife or a demon, but she was kind of messed
Something was happening, and
That's odd.
self-levitation.
What it says.
I mean,
Well,
I don't want
it
my
says
wife
self-levitation.
doing that,
but
How do you know?
if you say self-levitation, then you're blaming her.
Yeah,
Otherwise, it's just levitation.
it's just the regular type.
Yeah.
but the court sided with him.
Acknowledge the existence of the behavior. Can you imagine the court? This is weird. We're not going to say it's your fault, ma'am, because you may have a demon. So we're just going to say this is weird. And the divorce is final.
So what is? I mean, that's a different country, obviously. But
yes,
like
Italy is a different.
I knew that.
Okay, yeah, you stated it.
Yeah. But even
What's the grounds?
here? Yeah, like what grounds do you need for a divorce? Like
Well, there's no cause. There's no
No fault
now.
divorces.
that's what I thought. Okay.
Because you feel
we
like,
covered that
Right.
like
yeah.
6-7 episodes ago.
Can you imagine Kono in this situation? She's crazy, right? Look at this chick. She's
Look at her,
floating
she's
in the
flying
air.
up the ground.
I can't keep my product in business. She keeps smashing stuff. Rashida Lucas. Oh, we're getting names now. Divorced her husband, TP, because as she said on national television, he was just too nice.
I mean, that's why you get rid of somebody.
Chief among Lucas's grievances was that TP said, I love you too much, and that he was such a good cook that it caused her to gain weight. Normally, though, I love you is not one of those things you should never say to your spouse.
So she may not have been high on affection.
I guarantee you she's not good with appreciation.
No.
Yeah.
Does it say where? It said national TV,
Mm-hmm.
but not like
What show?
a
it like
talk
the-
show
Gotta
or
be
something.
Maury.
Yeah, something.
Maury,
like that.
sorry. Maury.
Or Oprah back in the day.
Back when she was, who she was before she became who she became.
Jerry Springer.
Could have been.
Yeah.
Oh, R.I.P.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. He was the GOAT.
He was the GOAT.
But,
He was so good at what he did.
yeah, how, gosh, she is
yeah. How can you be less?
less nice.
Maybe she had no emotional needs.
Well, if you think of, on a much different scale, if you look at like Rachel, if if I wasn't nice to Rachel,
Mm-hmm.
not she doesn't want me to be mean, but like I didn't shower her with I love yous or whatever else, she wouldn't notice,
Mm-hmm.
at least for a while. So take that to a more extreme level.
Right.
She would notice now. Like, you should try that as an experiment. Take 3 days and just don't be affectionate to her at all.
Not willing to risk.
Yeah, I was going to say, Jay might not want to do that experiment.
Besides,
Well, I mean, you could blame it on me.
she'll know.
Brian made me do it.
She'll know what's up now as soon as she listens to this.
Oh,
episode.
right.
You
I
come
mean,
back. You come back to
she's
Brian.
watching.
You come back to Brian. Asks like, so how's it going? She hasn't talked to me in 3 days.
And doesn't know it.
And she's fine.
She doesn't know.
Completely fine.
I'll be like, honey, you know we haven't talked in 3 days. She's like, really?
You know, I haven't said I love you in 3 days.
In 2015, it was reported that a Nigerian woman had filed for divorce after only 1 week of marriage because she couldn't oh, that's the one we weren't going to read. Okay. Yeah.
Something about a bread box?
Yeah. So after more than 70 years of marriage, all right, let's stop.
70 years.
70.
A 99-year-old Italian man divorced his wife
Always Italy.
after he stumbled across love letters she had written to a secret lover.
Oh, this is
In
heartbreaking.
The 1940s,
So probably before they were married.
like 60 years before.
Wait,
No.
Okay, so-
Once
so-
they were married.
Once they were married, but
Right.
this is
But
like
still young.
60 years.
Like, so probably 20 years into their marriage.
So they were married for 70 years.
Yes.
So probably 20 years into their marriage, he finds that she was writing
The
love
wife
letters.
then confessed to having had an affair and begged her husband's forgiveness.
Oh my god.
The husband wasn't having it.
Oh
in
no.
your 90s, and
I
you're
hate this one.
Like,
It says apparently their marriage had been long, but it had also been rocky. 99 years old,
Oh my gosh. Well, and when was the affair?
40s.
So like
1940s.
soon after marriage.
Well, could have been within the first 20 years.
Well, no, because you said 2015, right?
No, I never said 2015.
Oh, I'm sorry. That was a different one, maybe.
That was the one I didn't read because
Oh,
of
okay,
the
sorry. My bad.
inappropriateness, And
My
this is a
Okay.
above that kind of podcast.
still, I mean, 5, 10, 15 years in, 20 years into that doesn't really seem to matter too much. Like when you go 70 years and then you get
I
to that
think really
point.
any infidelity in a marriage,
It's not good, but like
50 years later.
to be, you're almost dead anyways. Like, why would you do that? Why, can you just let it? Like, can you let? I don't know, man.
I'm thinking about
He's high on respect. Like that guy wants respect.
Ooh,
Security?
okay. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The heartbreak
Oh.
of like that discovery.
Wait,
To me, it's worse because they're almost 100 years old and I don't know, like they've made it so far and then this discovery now,
but to
it's
that
heartbreaking.
end, to that end, you've been married 70 years and you find out for at least 50 of it,
Mm-hmm.
or at least 50 years ago, there'd been, so like you're looking back at your whole life and you're like, it was a
Yeah.
lie.
Yeah. The heartbreak.
Oh, it's gross.
That one hurts, man.
That's a tough one.
I mean, you wanted him to let it go. Speaking of that, for one Japanese couple who had been married for 6 years, see, it's not always Italy. The movie Frozen was the deal breaker.
I can see that.
Been there.
After watching it, he made the mistake of asking her, "Did you really think it was that good?"
Oh man.
Well, apparently she did. And the fact that he couldn't even ask that question made her question what sort of person he was. And she couldn't seem to let it go.
It all comes around.
Moving out of their marital residence soon after.
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
That speaks to a bigger problem.
So
I mean-
I like that. That kind of reminds me of the makeup one. You know, like
You didn't think he was a sap? Like, you didn't think he liked him? Or no, he didn't like the movie. So he didn't know she was going to be like, oh, that's a good movie? I'm
Well,
agreeing with you.
yeah,
He should have known. She should have known that he, or whatever. They both should have known.
But to be that upset to divorce your husband of 6 years, because he doesn't like Frozen, and you're upset about that.
I think it's fair to say
that's kind of shallow.
that kind of fight that escalates to a level like that shows that they had no experience meeting others' emotional needs.
Right, and
Right,
and
I mean-
that's the straw that broke the camel's back. But again, probably like what Jay
Yeah.
talks about is that one fight that every couple has. You know, probably was something, and that was the thing. And she's like, all right, you know, all of this other hurt I've had up for these past 6 years. That's the thing. You know, that's the label I put on it to be able to divorce you. But it's been a process of 6 years to get to that point, you know. But yeah, like if you get to that point and you do it over that, like you're not talking to each other. Like,
and if you're having fights where that kind of disagreement like bends you, like gets you out of whack,
right?
Like that is, it hits me like that is a special kind of, you are not even trying to hear or feel what the other person is feeling. You just want to be right all the time.
Right.
Like that's woo.
At the bare minimum, I mean, that what kind of authentic connection do you have with that person if you're willing to let it go for something like that?
Yeah.
I don't know. I can't get my head there.
No.
It has to be meaningful. I mean, not condoning it as, you know, divorce in any way, but it's like, at least make it worth it. You know, like not Frozen, not your makeup.
Right.
Yeah. That's wild. Besides, she could have put on makeup. She could have put makeup on every day anyway, you know? I'm just kidding. That's not the point. Nobody write in and tell me that it was all like that she had to wear the makeup.
I want to hear more about the Nigerian situation, but I don't think we can.
I want to steal Jay's paper.
Happy hour in Rome.
Mm-hmm. Rome after dark.
One man was at such odds with his soon-to-be ex-wife that just the thought of her having his toolbox sent him into a rage. He asked for a temporary use and possession of the toolbox during a $3,000 hearing for tools worth $500. His attorney tried to explain that for what he was going to pay, he could easily buy a new top-of-the-line set. So he paid $3,000 on a hearing to get his $500 toolbox.
Right. It's the point.
What is that, like during divorce proceedings? Yeah. Okay.
And he wouldn't look so petulant to the judge. Apparently the argument didn't take.
Wow.
That's good spite there.
I was going to say, that's a spite divorce.
I appreciate that. In another case, the husband who had been having an affair agreed to buy out the wife's interest in their home for more money than the wife would have received if she kept the home and sold it herself. When the couple appeared in court to finalize the divorce, the wife, who had previously agreed to be bought out, refused to sign the papers unless her husband gave her every landscaping rock surrounding the house. She didn't want to be paid the value of the rocks. She wanted the rocks. She claimed that they were from her father and wanted her ex to rip them all out and give them back to her.
Wow.
Huh. All right.
The Stones are that
way. So the bottom line is this. You should build your relationship with the absolute 3 crucial segments of any successful relationship. And gentlemen, those 3 things are number 1.
Number 2. And no, sorry. Go ahead.
Number 1 is
open.
Christ at the center.
And
not
we
just
did
a
this.
plaque, not just a plaque, not just a T-shirt, not just a poster, not a letterboard in your kitchen, but literally continually putting Christ at the center of your relationship. Number 2, Brian?
Open, honest, and vulnerable.
Yes, open, honest, and vulnerable communication. And number 3, Chris?
I was going to say open, honest, vulnerable.
Yeah, but he did.
Yeah.
So you give us the third one as somebody who sits at the table. Tell him, Eric.
Space Force.
Sorry. I'm sorry. What?
Christ at the center is the number 1 thing for every relationship to be successful. Number 2 is open and honest and vulnerable communication. And number 3,
open, honest, and vulnerable.
That's what I was going to say. No,
don't go to bed angry.
No,
meeting.
We sit here every week.
Meeting emotional needs.
No,
that's
hearing the other person.
Stop.
Yeah, we've done episodes on this.
Mutual giving.
Mutual giving.
Yeah, I mean, I got my answer right.
I will be honest, I am not good on the spot, and I do not like it.
I will never do it again.
Oh, because like I know that.
I know you know that.
And I know that you know that I know that.
And I know that you know.
Guess what? I was on the right track, because mutual giving, you're giving each other their emotional needs.
Mutually.
That's not that far of a reach.
No, it's all in the same ballpark.
I was there.
But guaranteed we could go back over that list and find that ain't happening. No, I would say arguably all 3.
Christ at the center.
All 3 are not happening in any of those situations.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So work on those 3 things.
Right.
The Frozen movie one, like the mutual
More
giving.
than the makeup one?
I don't know why that, like...
Did you like Frozen?
No.
Oh.
Well, yeah, but no. It strikes me as like this... Wow, well, see, the makeup one was more one-sided. I think that's why, like, I'm not saying it was like, that's shallow and crazy from him. The Frozen one, like, both of them, just like nobody's even trying, nobody's mutually giving. And I think and
I think the time length. So with the makeup one, they were a couple days, and he saw her without makeup and said, "Okay, whatever." It's superficial, and you could kind of leave it at that. I think with the Frozen one, you're 6 years into it, and like, when did that person go dead inside that they were like, the next thing, I think that one might be a little bit more. I don't know.
Because what if I'm just being devil's advocate here? What if the woman wore so much makeup all the time and looked a certain way the whole time they knew each other, and then like she really looked completely different when the makeup
That it
was
wasn't
off?
like
like
go
the
out
Seinfeld-
makeup.
right. It was like her face.
Right. That's
Like
what I mean.
like simple makeup that, but still, so what?
Not
Right.
simple. Yeah, no, so what?
You were never gonna. She was never
So
gonna
what for
take her-
sure? But I'm just saying, like, I feel like I don't know. Like,
It wasn't like
feel
she had false
I feel like
eyelashes.
the Frozen one is
and
worse.
Bright
I don't know.
lipstick.
Well, yeah, that's what
She
Chris
did,
and I are
though.
saying.
Right.
Like, the Frozen one's worse.
Eyelashes were specifically mentioned
is
in
true.
that story.
Yeah.
Like, I think I feel like I've seen people like this. Like, they literally put on their face in the morning,
Yeah,
and if you saw them at night, you'd be like,
you wouldn't know who they were.
Oh my
and,
gosh,
And
yeah.
some women, like, they'll just get their makeup tattooed. Like, they'll just do makeup.
Sure, that's a
like, they'll
thing.
get eyebrow tattoos, and they'll,
Yeah.
tattoo the blush.
And had she done that,
they'd still be
wouldn't
married.
have come off in the water.
It's all her fault.
They'd be happily
It's all
married
her
right
fault.
now.
It's all
moral
her
of the
fault.
story, it's all her fault.
And
Yeah.
the Frozen one, that is more indicative of a completely broken relationship, because that ain't they didn't break
Right.
up over Frozen.
Right.
Yes.
Whereas
right.
my man broke up because, well, twofold. One, he's at least you could say that he's superficial because he didn't like the way she looked without the makeup,
Uh-huh.
or is it because she didn't trust him enough to not have makeup on? Was it strictly that he didn't like the way she looked, or is it a combination of, wait, you've been fake to me? If you're fake about your features and your face, or have you been fake about other things?
But I mean, come on. Like,
Next thing you know, she's going to win the lottery and not even tell him.
Would you guys, you're 99 years old with your spouse, Eric, divorce, yes or no, when you discover that your spouse had a affair 50 years ago?
I don't think so.
I don't
That's not
think
your move.
Yeah, I don't think I would either.
No.
At that point,
No,
I thought you
just,
said yes, Brian. No?
you just run out the clock.
That's right. You just said they're almost dead.
No, and I can see Jay's point about, being so offended, or, realizing in retrospect that all of this time there was, it wasn't the authentic thing that you thought it was. But as far as like just going to divorce after all that time, and you've built a life together for 70, probably 70 plus years. No, I think at that point you go, I think we can work this out.
Yeah, I think as jolting as the discovery would be, it'd be even more jolting, and all of it in a sad way, but more jolting to be like, we're done. I'm going to live out the remainder of my days
Right.
without you. Like, wow.
Well,
What about you, Jay?
Because it
again-
wasn't ongoing. Like, they obviously stopped. So, like, they all, like,
Well, at least you stopped writing letters.
Presumably. I mean,
Right.
in our argument, we can presume.
Right.
But then okay, so now you went through with the divorce. Now you're 99 and whatever she is. Like, at
30.
you need help when you're that late in life, and a lot of
Could already be in assisted living.
man, I don't know.
It would be too much effort.
It's hard. Yeah,
To go through an actual divorce.
Then you gotta
I'm like,
start,
it's too much
then
paperwork.
you gotta start dating again.
like-
then you
yeah,
have to
right.
get back to the
Yeah,
dating.
You gotta find out like what Bumble is and all these dating apps.
But I think if you look at it, it also depends on what his emotional needs are.
Yeah,
Because if his need is respect,
I mean,
Yeah.
then he's got to get the divorce. If it's
Yeah.
security,
Mhm.
or if it's you
acceptance.
know, or belonging,
Mhm.
then it's different.
Yeah.
But if it's respect,
My highest is
It's
respect.
over.
And I really feel like I wouldn't, but I don't know. Who knows? That's a different generation.
That one's so. I mean,
it's hard.
That's tough.
It's heartbreaking.
Yeah.
Why is he snooping? He said he found the love letter.
But you keep them around.
That's a. Why did she keep them around?
They should get divorced.
That's terrible.
Wow.
So it turns out that to have a healthy relationship is really the goal.
You need 3 things.
I've heard 4, sometimes 5. But I don't want to quiz anybody on that.
You got your mutual giving.
I got my answer.
You got your mutual Christ.
Uh-huh.
You got open and center relationships.
I'm never going to forget again. Until next time.
Until next time.
Speaking of next time, that's it for episode 215.
That was good.
Speaking of next time, this is this time.
Please make sure to give us a like or follow on social media. Visit us also at lunchtimeinrome.com. And while there, take our relational needs questionnaire. Thanks for joining us at the table for Lunchtime in Rome.
See you next week.
Sayonara.
It just made me sad. Bye.